Okay, now we're going to embellish upon those A melodic minor triad chords running up and down the neck, and I'm going to do it in both chordal ways, but I'm also going to do it in both chordal ways and kind of how I would improvise using those sounds as melodic touch points, I suppose, just like so that you can kind of know where you are, and then the A melodic minor or any melodic minor doesn't become about this sound only and doesn't become about this chord only or being able to play in one position. It becomes a little bit more free, which is how I like to think of my sounds, and so this is there's a tip for studying any sound. But anyway, now let's play just warm up with this triad exercise. Thing that I'm doing there is just the next step of the exercise, which is to play notes off the chord, but that are still within the scale. So you might go, which has the notes E on the bottom. Well, that's our bass note. The low note of the chord that's moving is E, and then A, which is our tonic, 5 tonic, and then C, which is our flattened third. Now if we just move up the top note there, C to D, it's still going to be of a melodic minor scale, but it's not going to necessarily resemble anything that we associate with a minor major 7 sound. In fact, it doesn't. I mean, it's got a 5th, but that's about it, and the tonic as well, but it has an 11th, it doesn't have a flattened third, doesn't have a major 7th, so it's a pretty open sound, but I still would associate that with that melodic minor sound, and a whole heap of other sounds, but anyway, that's not the point. So we may just take that chord and have a little riff that goes, and you're still using it, and you're still sort of, someone might be really thinking that sound or hearing that sound, but you don't have to get all of those notes in the chord, or in your vamp, or in your scale solo, your solo. So we have that as an idea. So if I went up and down the scale and did that with every single chord, I'd get this, which is a kind of a cool like voice leading thing, right? And then oops, and you get this cool sort of voice leading thing that might work in a small amount. Obviously, if you did that up and down, it would sound like a pattern or an exercise, which at first it is. But just like scales are a pattern and an exercise, they become something else when you put a lot of time into them. So I would urge you to just take, as much time as you have spent maybe looking at the major scale, and the major scale chords, do the same thing with melodic minor. Start with the triads. Next is the 7th chords. Minor major 7 is the first 7 chord. If we keep harmonizing in thirds, looking at dots on a stave, we get a B minor 7 next. If we go past that, we get a C major 7 sharp 5, or C augmented major 7. And don't forget, each of the modes fits these sounds. Kind of. There's actually some of the sounds are better used with extensions, but we'll talk about that in a second. We've got a D7, 2 dominant 7s in a row, D7, E7, 2 half diminished in a row. So we've got two minor triads in a row, 2 major triads in a row, 2 diminished triads in a row. We've got a minor major 7, minor 7, major 7 sharp 5, dominant, half diminished, okay? So there's some different chordal sounds. Now I'm going to show you a lick that I like to use, and that's just the beginning. Don't forget to, you put these extensions on, etc., etc., and see where that goes, see how that sounds and how that feels, and hopefully find some places to use it. But I'm going to show you one thing that I love to do now. Say if I'm in the middle of a song, middle of a tune, and I need a springboard for an idea. I like to play triadally up and down the scale. Again, triadally, so we're not playing the scale in continuous notes. But then I'll mess with it, so I might go 1, 2, 3, 4, ya do 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 da do 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 da do do da you do do da do do da da do do da do do da ya do do re. And I just tried to finish it melodically there, but anyway, the idea was this triadal thing, And you can see that mainly I'm doing sort of triadal things, or different versions of triads, and I'm doing that line, you know, da and do do, and that's a good little springboard. But it's, you know, it can be cool rhythmically too. So maybe we'll look at that. So there you go, a whole lot of different ideas on how to practice and methodically practice melodic minor for chords. Hope that helps, David.